Day out here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Shout out to this past weekend. Well, not actually shout out to it, but this past weekend we had like heavy rain from the Hurricane Florence moved through. RIP to the apparently like 20 something people that passed away. Excuse me, I just had to finish eating dinner. But I just wanted to come through and talk about Spider-Man real quick. If you guys have been paying attention to my streams, I just 100% of the game. I got the full platinum and everything like that, so I want to get my full review on it. Now, obviously I'm a Spider-Man fan. If you guys know me personally, you know I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I have the comic books, seen the movies, watched the cartoons, played all the rest of the video games when I was a kid, starting from the Spider-Man from 2000, made by Neversoft, which was a fabulous game. And then obviously anybody who's a Spider-Man fan will tell you that Spider-Man 2, the tie-in movie game, was like one of the best Spider-Man games still to this day. Until this new Spider-Man Insomniac, from Insomniac, the developers of some of my favorite classic games like Spyro the Dragon, Ratchet and Clank, the Resistance series, and a game for the Xbox One called Sunset Overdrive. So I'm going to talk about a little bit. We'll talk about the story. The story is phenomenal. Now they took cues from the comic books, but it's a whole totally Insomniac-esque type story. It's everything different. So the past is different. This is a Spider-Man 80 years in the making. So you see a more experienced Spider-Man than usually the other games will do. They'll do like a Spider-Man that's like just been Spider-Man or been there for about 2 years and whatnot. But this is 8 years, so he's been around. So he got the whole history. So they took that story and ran with that. And I say personally, the story is really good. It's mainly about Spider-Man, and he takes down Wilson Fisk, who is just the Kingpin. And as soon as he takes down Wilson Fisk, there's another crime boss that tries to fill his shoes. He goes by Mr. Negative. And Mr. Negative is trying to get the thing called the Devil's Breath to get vengeance on the city. And it's a very, very good story. I really like the story. I really like how it goes. I really like the mysteries, like the characters. So that goes there. The voice acting is phenomenal. Yuri Lowenthal, who's the voice of Peter Parker, does a great job as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. He's able to differentiate between the two. So you can tell which one's Spider-Man, which one's Peter Parker. Everyone else does. I don't know anybody else's the voice actors. Just Yuri Lowenthal because he's Spider-Man. But everybody else does a phenomenal job. It's like watching a movie. The gameplay wise, now everybody who watches the gameplay says it's like Batman Arkham Light, which I'll agree to a point. It's basically Batman Arkham, but has its own. Actually, I think it's more intricate than Batman Arkham. If you play Batman, all you did was pretty much press square, beat up the bad guys, and then press triangle to about their attacks. In this one, they're like the same. But the difference is you got to think like Spider-Man. You actually got to play like Spider-Man to actually know what to do and everything like that. And it's not the thing of just button timing and everything like that. So that's what makes that combat great. And also they have different type of gadgets. If you know Insomniac, you know they have gadgets in all of their games. So different types of gadgets on there, which are really fun to use. Now a lot of the times I find myself not really using the gadgets. But the gadgets are fun to use. Whenever you do want to use them, they give you a great advantage with lots of these street thugs and everything like that. And you fight street thugs, you fight demons, you fight prisoners. And then obviously we're going to talk about the web slinging. Now, like I said before, Spider-Man 2 used to be the best Spider-Man game because of the web slinging. And this one, Marvel Spider-Man, beats it out of the water. The web slinging is amazing. The different animations, the feel, the different styles, so good. So that's all I gotta say about that. On top of that, we have different Spider-Man suits, and it's cool. There's 23 suits that you can gather, 24 I think, and then all the suits have different suit powers. And what's cool about those things, you can take the suit powers and switch it, so you don't have to use. For example, there's a Spider Noir suit. You don't have to use that Spider Noir suit power on just that suit. You can use it on a different suit. So which is cool about it. That's very cool, and I really, really appreciate that. And something for doing that. Excuse me. Now we talked about the gameplay. Obviously, the bosses. Now, if you watch a lot of different reviews, People will say the bosses were kind of lacking. Me personally, I thoroughly enjoyed the bosses. Some of the bosses were great, and then some of the bosses were okay. For example, the Mr. Negative boss fight, the first boss fight, it was okay. You know, it was all right. But then later on and near the end, it was phenomenal. Then the different types of boss fight, Shocker was good. Obviously, you see the Sinister Six in the game. I'm not gonna remember who's the sixth member, but I'm sure you know if you watch comic books. Sinister Six fights were amazing. I had a great time doing those boss fights. The only let's see what else, and then you have different challenges, you have different side missions, obviously different things on the road, different crimes. A lot of crime tokens that pop up, a lot of things like that will pop up that you will have to do on the sidelines. And it's good, you know. For me personally, it's good. A lot of people won't think it's repetitive, and it might be, but I like the I like it myself. Um, and the challenges were fun as well. And some of the side bosses were cool as hell. They got some side bosses that you didn't expect. There's one side boss I didn't really expect. I was like, wow, I didn't think that she'd be in the game.
What time are you going to sleep?
So it was cool. It was very cool. Let's see what else. The only let's say that my only gripes, and it's not a lot of gripes. My only gripes is one. Though I love Mary Jane, I love how they did Mary Jane. And this one, she's not just a love interest; she's more like a detective. You know, she works for the Daily Bugle now, while Peter Parker's a scientist, and she's an investigative reporter. I liked her, but I didn't like doing her section. There's tons of different sections that slow down the game where you have to sneak through and stuff like that, which was cool. But I was like, man, I'm ready to be Spider-Man again. I ain't even trying to do this crap. No offense to her. And then another thing is the camera. And not the camera's not bad, but just sometimes I'll find myself by the camera being caught and can't being caught in trees or something when I'm trying to fight or something like that, and it goes some like weird way, something like that. So that's my only gripes, but it's not. It doesn't break the game for me personally. So that's my only gripes about the game. But other than that, if there's anything else I missed, please comment below. If I was supposed to give it a rating, and my rating is gonna be not gonna be through numbers, I would definitely say buy it, own it, definitely go buy it. It's worth $60. It's gonna be worth it when you get the DLC. Go get that game. Definitely appreciate it. Appreciate you checking out my video. Also, again, let's give a shout out to Access Energy Drink for sponsoring this stream. You can go on the link below to buy yourself a case, sign up as a customer, and you'll be able to get special type of deals. And give us a follow. Give us a follow, give us a subscribe on YouTube. And we're going to be giving you some more streams and giving you some more gameplay videos. But until then, I'll see you later. Peace.